Hi everyone, I'm Xiomara, CEO, you can call me CEO. I'm a senior UX designer from Uruguay, now based in Barcelona. And today I want to share how I built my portfolio using Cursor, not from a technical perspective, but from a more creative one. So this process for me felt more like sketching than programming, helped me to remove the fear that I had to code. It helped me move through chaos and rediscover play and having fun in the process. So for the agenda, well, like the story that I'm going to tell today, I was in the classic designer situation, right? You have 1,000 frames in Figma, half-written case studies, too many ideas. My portfolio felt like a chore, heavy task that I should do. I was not feeling really inspired. But then my boyfriend, who he's a software engineer, showed me Cursor. Most of you know what Cursor is. Basically, you can talk in normal language and it generates or refactors code. I was not really expecting anything, but it really surprised me. And what I'm going to share is also how I felt when I was using the tool and building this. So, time to play. I started using it and it felt like painting. Like you start with ideas, and it was like when I was drawing as a kid. I started with the horse and I was like, oh, how it would look like if I add this and this and this. This process that started more like playing and drawing as a kid became a little bit of chaotic and hectic. So that's when the chaos arrived. And Cursor started to create a really complex app. That wasn't the goal that I had at the beginning. I wanted to create the portfolio. So basically, without knowing, I had a huge file structure, several styling frameworks, features that I never asked for, and things broke. But the problem wasn't Cursor. The problem was that I wasn't being really structured, or the way that I was talking to was not the right one. AI will always over-engineer when you're not specific, right? So the path to clarity was, instead of having vague prompts, for example, that one, build me a cool animated portfolio, I started to write more specific ones, giving more context and clarity to Cursor so the tool can help me. Like that one, I want to build a multi-page portfolio website, blah, blah, blah. And being specific on the pages that I wanted for my portfolio as well. And that way, Cursor turned from a chaotic generator into a thoughtful collaborator. So it really changed the way that I was working with the tool. And also something that it was really helpful was asking Cursor to ask me questions. So that helped me a lot in the process, right? So in about 2 hours, I had a clear file structure, sections, a working multi-page website, clear navigation, something that I could iterate on visually, and Cursor helping me refactor instead of creating more complexity into this project. So it was not perfect, not really polished, but it was alive and it was working. So it was kind of enough to see the shape of the portfolio and enough to remind me that I can build these things and that you could break stuff, but you can start again, right? So here's some videos when I say it's, when I was starting to see something. The first one is more like starting from just a screenshot. I also tried to use the MCP, I think it's called, the plugin from Figma. But yeah, I think screenshots work best in Cursor for a certain way. And yeah, basically I wanted to share those videos. Now moving to what I loved, Cursor felt more like playing. It makes the iteration fast and also with low fear. It's great to start from scratch, amazing to explore new concepts or ideas that I never maybe thought of when I was in Figma, blocked with my frames. Also encouraging collaboration with developers. In that way, it made me see in another perspective the work that my boyfriend or developers do. So I think it was great to understand the other side from another perspective. And yeah, helps you to understand the structures, constraints, the logic. What annoyed me, okay, well, person sometimes forgets context. That's why we need to be really clear and specific. It can heavily over-engineer projects if you're not really guiding Cursor in that. some experiments didn't save correctly, and you must learn to prompt. So yeah, I know I was also there. Some lessons learned. I started with the vibes, and then I started to add more structure to the process. AI is powerful, but trust in your criteria as a designer. Ask the tool to ask you questions that's going to make you think on like why you're doing that, and like understand how you could better ask or do the prompt in order to get what you want. Basically, for me, AI won't replace designers, but I understand this tool, and AI is going to reshape how we work. It's already reshaping it. So I think it's really important to be curious and don't have fear, and test these tools and use them. I also found an interesting article. It was posted, I think, 2 days ago, like what would be vibe designing. And it made me think, yeah, like on our design, UX design processes, and how the vibe coding workflow could merge with that and like basically change and help to bridge the gaps that you could sometimes have on the design workflow process. So basically, I wanted to share that with you guys as well. And for the demo, basically, I'm going to ask the tool to add a contact page. So it's going to take about 5 minutes in the video. But yeah, I wanted to show you like just a little bit of that process, and finally how that happened. I think what it's interesting is something that, yeah, Pedro also said, that Cursor is always going to tell you like what's done, and like give you the plan if you ask. So it really helped me to organize myself and be clear on what I needed to do next. So I think that would be it.